Hello ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's Alexander Hilly123 here, and it's time for a new video. And today, I think it is and has been 6.5 months since my last gaming pickups video, and it's time for a new one today. What do we do in these videos? If you've never seen one, well, they're very exciting, let me tell you that much. The last 5 games that I purchased, I'm going to talk about them. They're not necessarily reviews. I'm not reviewing these games. Sometimes I might have picked a game up and I've not played it, and as such it's just me saying how I bought it. And there's a few stories on how I bought the games, especially the middle game. It's quite a funny story and a testament to being very stubborn for absolutely no reason, ladies and gentlemen. You might get a little giggle out of that one. But I just want to thank people, just before I begin, for the recent NHLPA Hockey 93 Let's Play. It yielded 12 subscribers to the channel. So welcome if you are new. Thank you for dropping by, hitting that motherfucking subscribe button. And hopefully you will stay around because there will be more retro ice hockey to come. I've just got to space out the content. But yeah, NHL 95 could be right at the end of the year. We'll do another retro ice hockey Let's Play. The algorithm just blessed me. The first 3 videos got like 4 free, 200 views respectively, and then other ones have got like 10 to 15 views. It's very weird. The YouTube algorithm will sometimes these days reward you for a specific Let's Play and then hide the rest of the videos. It's perplexing. It works differently than how it used to, but it's better than nothing. And I got a lot of like-minded ice hockey fans on board, and that's absolutely awesome. On this channel, ladies and gentlemen, we're all about that ice hockey, we're all about that retro, well, not retro, but I did used to do retro games on the channel. If you look, the classics, there's lots of retro one-off videos. We love survival horror here, we love linear video games, and we want video games to get back to being very fun indeed. In the drop down box, guys, because this is going to be a long video, when I do these gaming pickups videos, what I do is I timestamp when I start talking about each individual game. And unfortunately these days it's just the way gaming is. I'm sure you guys are aware. It's nearly all digital, and today all the games are digital, bought on my Xbox Series X. And speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, it's now under a month until that man, Jeff Keighley, he's back again with those smart trainers on, or sneakers as he calls them probably. Yeah, Summer Game Fest, the Sony State of Play, which will probably be in late May. Yo, I'm rhyming again. And the Xbox One. And this year, I'm also going to be reacting to the Future Game Show as well, which is more indie and AA. So get used to that, I'll get ready for it. And I'll timestamp all the silliness and the funny goings on. Let's hope that they're good for everyone involved, and we can have some games that we're excited about. Regardless of how shit gaming is, there's always games that just crop up, sometimes left of field, and I've got a few instances today and in the next pickups video to speak about that. And yeah, the next pickups video, gaming wise, guys, will be about 2 months or so it's going to be a lot quicker. Anyway, we are going back to last autumn. I played this in last December after buying it in autumn a few months later. It's a prequel. It's Wolfenstein, or Wolfenstein, if you want to get ultra German about this shiznit. The Old Blood, released, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring up the old Wikipedia page here, May 2015, about a year after the New Order, which I did play, and I checked my Xbox, I played it April 2016. So it took me nearly 9 years to get round to the prequel. And I went into this not even knowing it was a prequel. And if you don't know, well, the origins of the Wolfenstein games, they began in the early 90s, the boomer shooters alongside Doom, which we'll be talking about later in this video, ladies and gentlemen, and Quake, a series. I've never played Quake, but hey, who knows? Maybe you'll see it in a future pickups video. But yeah, Wolfenstein had a few iterations. Return to Castle Wolfenstein is a game that I've watched, been played by a few people that I know on the internet, but I've never played it myself. Could get a remaster one day. It looks like a really cool game. The New Order I enjoyed, and the Old Blood, I've got to say, I enjoyed it just as much, or if not a little bit more. But it's my first time playing an FPS in a while, this, back in December, and I had a really good time. The mechanics and the gunplay were really fun. And one aspect I remember from Wolfenstein The New Order is its very stop-start, which is going to rub some people up the wrong way, but I quite enjoyed it. So, you know, you get all your weapons and then you lose them. Oh no. And then you gain them again. And then when you've lost them, you have to integrate a bit of stealth gameplay and use the throwing knives and slit throats and all that shit till you get your guns back. And then before you know it, you're wielding dual assault rifles and shotguns. I have to say the shotgun in the Old Blood was just so fun. You just use it and they turn into a tomato. Absolutely blast them. Very violent, very gory. And if you don't know, Wolfenstein, it is a reimagining of the events of World War II, where the Germans win the war, and that gives and has given the devs of this game free reign in regards to creativity with the story. And yeah, I've heard good things about the new Colossus as well. I heard bad things about the latest one though, Young Blood. I have a feeling this is a franchise which may go dormant for a while now, ladies and gentlemen. But I enjoyed the Old Blood mechanics, are fun as fuck. The pacing was good. The game wasn't like 40, 50 hours long or something daft like that. Not a masterpiece, but I really enjoyed it. It says here, praise the game's intense firefights, intriguing locations, and the balance between action and stealth, but criticise the story. The story, for me, you just got to run with it. It's absolute bonkers and hilarious at times. I mean, I've heard a little bit of what happens in the new Colossus, and it just sounds insane. Mick Gordon actually did the soundtrack to this as well, so it's got good music. Playing as your boy BJ Blazkowicz, and you can play the nightmare things. Like, he finds a bed, and you can play all levels from classic Wolfenstein games, I do believe. They were fun. And yeah, it's just, it usually goes on offer, this game. Bethesda, absolute morons. And I always think of this game alongside The Evil Within, because Bethesda back in the day thought it was a good idea, because they're complete morons, to release both games at the same time. It's like, you surely as a publisher want these games to do well, but you're fighting against each other. Because I remember, the new Colossus, second Colossus, Return of the Colossus, whatever the fuck it's called, came out at the same time as Evil Within 2, and both games absolutely bombed because Bethesda are utterly hopeless. But yeah, Old Blood, really enjoyed it. Don't know what else much to say. I thought this was slightly easier than the New Order from what I remember, but now I'm really intrigued to go back to the New Order. It's been nearly 10 years since I played it. I might just get the PlayStation version. This had a good achievement list as well. I think I got well over half of the achievements, and it's not actually going to be that difficult to get more. I don't often go back to these kind of games, even if I enjoy them. Maybe I will with this one. It is a really nice game, even graphically so as well, ladies and gentlemen. I can't help but raise a smile, you know, when people say, oh, such and such a game still looks good after all these years, and it's as good as 10 years, Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. It's like, yeah, games these days, if they're not Grand Theft Auto 6, a lot of them look worse. I don't know how, but they do. A lot of games do. Not all, but some. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Like I said, it's not a review when I do these videos, but I feel like I kind of have to do a review of this game. You know why? Because I completed it today, even though I've had it for many, many, many months. And it is none other than a game which should have been a blind Let's Play on my YouTube channel, and I'm kind of saddened that it wasn't up until the end when things turned very sour, let me tell you that much, because things got infuriating and my blood pressure's rising just thinking about it. Where's that bloody drink again? Tell you right now. You fucking idiots. You bloody idiots. I'm a massive fan of the series, the old school games, ladies and gentlemen. Sonic Superstars. And this was released, let's have a look here, October 2023, so just over a year and a half. It's still under 2 years old. And I remember when this game came out, I was devastated because I absolutely adored the pixel art style of Sonic Mania. Obvious, you know, just like the old classic Mega Drive games. That was a very, very emotional game for me to play. And it was a beautiful game. The music was phenomenal. The gameplay was phenomenal. Characters, there's a lot of fan service, a lot of extra modes, a lot of content, and it was released for £25, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe, when it came out. Sonic Superstars, 60. Over double. Okay. And it's not pixel art as well. It's like it's 2D, but it's 3D, but from a 2D, you know, old school perspective, you know what I mean. And you got T. Lopez doing the audio. Sonic team and a company called Urzest. I don't understand what that is. They developed the game alongside Sonic Team. And when this game came out, and if you look on the Wikipedia page, there's a lot of iffy reviews which admit that it's a pretty good game, but it's not a great game. You've got a few 4 out of 5s, 8 out of 10s, but there's also a 5 out of 10 here, a 60 out of 100. Kind of average, a bit meh, a bit mid, as the Zoomers would say. And I pretty much do agree that it is quite mid after completing it today. There are a lot of good ideas here, but some of them do not stick, and there are a few infuriations as well with this game, let me tell you that right now. I'll probably be talking about this more than Wolfenstein because I'm a huge fan of the Sonic series, and going forward, you know, what is going to happen with the 2D games? The fact of the matter is now, old fuckers like me were not the main audience, were not the ones that Sega are trying to pander to. I heard Sonic Frontiers was pretty good, apparently. Not bought it though. I've never played and enjoyed a 3D Sonic game. I enjoyed a bit of Sonic Adventure back in the day. And Sonic Generations was good. I probably will get the kind of remaster that they did, Sonic Generations and Shadow the Hedgehog's in it as well. I think there's some new levels. Pretty interesting. But yeah, they didn't want to do the pixel art, and if you don't know, Sonic Mania was made by fans of the game who I do believe had worked on the mobile ports of the classic games, people who absolutely adored the games, and people who did right by it. And, you know, Sonic Mania, it's up there. I think if I had to rank them, Sonic Knuckles are my favourite, Sonic 3, then Sonic Mania, then Sonic 2, and then the original game is my least favourite, but they're all incredible. And Sonic Superstars, I would say, is better than Sonic 4, but not as good as any of the classic games. It's a serviceable game, and once I finished it, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. I feel it's very pedantic here, very particular, but I feel that 6 out of 10 is a bit too low, 7 out of 10 is a bit too high. I heard with these levels that are in the game that exploration is more so what it is about, more so than speed, and I agree with that. And I think sometimes the game is a bit too plodding and meandering, and I think it could have been faster. Some good loop-de-loops, there's some fantastic moments, there's some fantastic set pieces that are akin to any classic Sonic game, but there are also I've just got to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. The fucking bosses are absolutely awful. They're absolutely awful, and the last boss is so shambolic, I had to pop my own music on and just zone out. It took me a couple of hours to do it, and the reason is you've got to go through a few different cutscenes. There's no checkpoint. It's most of the fight is you watching the boss do different animations, waiting for it, waiting. If you play this game, you will surely know what I'm on about. And once you complete the game, you have the ability to do another campaign with a character called Trip, who I do believe is a new character, but I might be wrong there. And I've heard about what that boss is like, and apparently it's so bad that it's very difficult as well with unfair insta-kills. And I don't know what they were thinking with these bosses. If you've not played the game, then they last too long, and they're actually quite difficult. Now, you can give me something difficult, but don't make me wait 5 minutes to go back to the start of the boss, because that is genuinely what you have to do. There's very many phases, and it's just dull, and the music isn't on the level of Sonic Mania. The level design isn't on the Sonic Mania level, and I don't know, I think it was an amicable decision between all parties. Christian Whitehead, the main guy behind Sonic Mania, and Sonic Team, to just say, well, we're going to make our own kind of old school inspired game now, Sega. And the reviews weren't amazing. Some fans like it, but it's not terrible. It's not a bad game. It's a fun, good game. If you are an older gamer like me, maybe someone even older than me, who was, I was 2 years of age when the original Sonic came out, first ever game I played when I was 6 in 1996. But if you're older than me, you love the older games, I would recommend giving this a play, but wait until it's on offer and lower in price than... I paid 17.5 quid for the game, and I'm happy with that price. It took me about I've played about 12 hours. I've got some extra achievements. I've got about 50%, 19 achievements out of 38, so I've got half of them. And the rest of the achievements, no, apart from 4 or 5, which are for the emeralds, which I'm still not able to get, but I expected that. Like, all the percentages are below 2%. If you are making a game and all your achievements are that low, then you done goofed, son. You done goofed. Because they are really grindy and frustrating, irritating achievements. I was going to say something else then, and I have forgotten. Oh, that's it. The bonus stages. You know, there's never been a perfect balance between all the varied bonus stages of Sonic. Do you like blue spheres? Do you like the Sonic 1 stages? Are you one of those crazy people like the Sonic 2 stages? What about that one, Sonic and 3 Knuckles, where you spin on the ball and you force yourself up? Awesome. What about the arcade machines? What about the one... there's another one. The slot machine one as well. There's so many, and they all add to the fun of the game. And with Sonic Superstars, you do Sonic 1 old school inspired levels where it's rotating back and forth, and you've got to avoid going in the... Well, it was called the goal back in the day. There's like these red voids and you can't go in them. And what I really liked about them is they don't just get harder and harder and harder and harder. There's some hard ones and easy ones, and you've got to do multiple before you go back to the level. And you go through the checkpoint and the signpost with over 50 rings, just like Sonic 2, and you can go in there. But that's not how you get your emeralds. You get your emeralds by... It's Sonic CD again. Fucking Sonic CD, man. Oh, where the emerald is going away from you, and you got to swing on these vines, bounce on these spring things, and I got the first 3, and after that I could just not get them. And then I just kept failing the same one, and that's where I'm at. It's just like, I don't learn anything new. I'm going to keep failing them. So, Sonic Superstars, good game, not great. The boss is awful compared to old Sonic games. Music... T. Lopez did it, but it's a weird hybrid of the Mega Drive era and new music as well, and I'm not sure it always works. There's a few catchy pieces here and there, especially for the Sonic 1 stage. It's a beautiful little piece of music. But it'll be interesting to see where Sega go next, because quite a lot of the fans did not like this game. It's the epitome of a 6.5 out of 10 video game. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm annoyed because sometimes I do these pickup videos and there's a heck of a lot more that I want to say, especially about Sonic Superstars, but I just motherfucking shoot from the hip. I just hit the record button. I don't think of what I'm going to say beforehand. I don't do any research. It's my style. Here we are now, but I spoke a decent game of it, and we've got to move on eventually, I guess. But now is a game I've got a little story for you about. The game is Prodeus. I'll say it straight off the bat. It was released September 23rd, 2022, a year before Sonic Superstars. And this was in early access for a while, and then I think in early 2023, it was just came out in September 2022. Maybe it was early 2022, it was in early access. And this is quite simply, ladies and gentlemen, a Doom-inspired boomer shooter. And I saw this on Xbox, the Xbox store, and I think, if memory serves me correctly, it was £16, right? So I thought, oh, that's not bad. Boomer shooter, 10 to 12 hours long, crowdfunded, people really liking it early doors. Love the old Doom games. You know, I do like the Doom games as a franchise overall. I think I'm going to get this. Come to Xbox again a week or two later when I decided to purchase it. Can't remember why I didn't just buy it at the time. And it was £20. It's gone up £4. All right. That's weird. I'd wait for it to come down to £16. Ladies and gentlemen, it never came down. Not for a long, long time, but I saw it on the PlayStation Store and on Steam for, I think, £16, but it was an offer at £12. Oh, right, so maybe Xbox have got a sale on as well. Yeah, they do. It's on offer at £16 instead of £12. £20 down to 16. It's like, why am I paying more on Xbox? This is fucking ridiculous. I am going to wait until it goes to £12. And that was about a year and a half ago, if not longer. Ladies and gentlemen, I made sure to wait between 18 months and 24 months, a year and a half to 2 years, to save £4 just to spite these motherfuckers. They're gonna fuck me over, I'm gonna fuck them over. That's the way this is gonna work. But yes, eventually bought it about a couple of months ago. Played it just about a month ago. I think it was just this time last month I played it. Yeah, Prodeus, and £12 it was. And you know what the irony is? I probably would have paid £16 for it. It's that good. I do recommend this game. It's a lot of fun. This is certainly not reinventing the wheel. It's not a revolution. Hell, it's not a revolution evolution. It's a Doom-inspired boomer shooter. These guys are more certainly wearing their influences on the sleeve, and it's mainly Doom, but some of the other classic boomer shooters and, you know, the weapons. You've got a double barrel super shotgun, you've got a normal shotgun, you've got your chain gun, you've got your rocket launcher. It's exactly like Doom, and the pacing of the game is kind of, I don't know, it's like the old games, but a bit of Doom free. I am a Doom free apologist. In fact, I freaking love that game. The slower pace, and it feels a little bit like a survival horror game. It is a spooky game, and it's got a thick, dark atmosphere the whole time. And I like the modern games as well. Prodeus isn't as fast. I'll fly there. Or I don't know if that was a bit of spit coming out my mouth. There's a bubble and it floated away, or that was a little moggy fly or some shit. I don't know. What the hell? But yeah, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are faster than Prodeus. And I think people have gone apeshit with Doom Eternal being so fast. I think it got a little bit too silly. Reviews are actually coming out today for Doom the Dark Ages, the prequel, of course, the origins of the motherfucking Slayer. And the reviews are good. I believe parrying is part of the deal, which I'm not too thrilled with because I don't like parrying. But yeah, it looks like they've scaled back the speed a little bit, but it's getting good reviews and I'll eventually get around to playing it. I'm not going to be playing this one on release though, because I've got other things to purchase and play. But Prodeus, ladies and gentlemen, it's got a beautiful art style. You can play the game in 360p or even 216p, pixelated, with all these different shaders, like scanline, CRT bullshit going on, or you can play it normally. And I played it normally. I did swap back and forth a few times. You can't do it on the fly, unfortunately, but yeah, just a heck of a lot of fun. Great enemies, but they're imps. The main enemy is the lava, or the fire throwing, I should say, imp. Stands there and just cowardly lobs fire at you from a distance, just like the Doom games. The enemies are even mostly the same. This game starts out quite easy, and by the end it gets tougher, but if you are a seasoned veteran of FPS games, I would recommend playing this on hard. If I remember correctly, you've got very easy, no, you've got ultra easy, very easy, easy, wow, normal, what I played on, hard, very hard, ultra hard, I think. Christ almighty. And like I say, at times I wished I was playing on hard, and then by the end of the game I was like, maybe I'm happy I'm on normal because it ramped up. But you can change the difficulty on the fly in this game. It's not one of those games that stops you from doing that. So if it's too easy or hard, just change it on the fly, I guess. But yeah, really fun. The right length, pacing, pretty good. I thought this was a stellar game. A good price after all is said and done. And if you're playing this on PC, you're going to have a whale of a time, obviously, because, well, it's going to play easily, even if you've got a bit of a potato of a system and you're on keyboard and mouse, you know. But it doesn't hinder you as much as another FPS game would, I don't think, playing on controller. Just because of the style of the game and the fact that it's not a million miles an hour. But the firefights do get intense. The music, pretty good. Not Doom 2016 Doom Eternal levels, but it's not just the heavy riffs. It's about the industrial soundscapes that are offered as well during you playing the game, and they were good too. And like I say, good level design, some hellish landscapes. You're on a spaceship. Things like that. Really fun. Prodeus, highly recommended, ladies and gentlemen. Now moving on to the next game. I wanted to talk a bit more about Prodeus. I'm not going to be talking that much about the next two games, to be honest with you. So feet up, I guess. Ooh. Little 25 minutes. I'll try to keep this 40 minutes in length. They are ridiculously long for what they are, but sometimes I just want to ramble when the camera's on, ladies and gentlemen. Especially this year where I've had a long break from making videos. But yeah, it's the Brothers Tale of Two Sons remake, which came out about a year and a half ago. I remember seeing Brothers Tale of Two Sons shown, I'm guessing, would it have been 2022 or 23, because I only played the game for the first time in 2022, and then I think like a year later it was showcased at Keighley's Game Fest or another one of those, and I was watching it. My reaction's probably on my channel actually, but I can't remember, I can't be arsed watching my reaction, but I thought it was a sequel. And we really could do with a sequel, and these days the studio that made Brothers Tale of Two Sons have gone on to make some incredible things, and I've still never played any other Mr. Joseph Ferris. Fuck the Oscars. I still don't understand what that's about. But fuck it anyway. Games, you know, A Way Out, It Takes Two, Split Fiction, they've all done pretty damn well. And he is the master of couch co-op now. He keeps coming out with these cool ideas, and the man's obviously very talented. And Brothers Tale of Two Sons with a remake, you can play it co-op, but I'm a lone wolf, and I've asked my friend if she'll play this with me, and she can barely be arsed playing any games, so the answer was no. And I get the feeling it's the kind of game which you probably should, is newer games, A Way Out, It Takes Two and Split Fiction, should be on like microphone with each other for. But maybe one day I'll play them, but not as of right now. But let's just say what needs to be said within this game. It didn't need a remake. It really didn't. And am I a mug for buying it? Yeah, but it was £6 on offer when I bought it last week, and I've already played it, and I got the platinum within one playthrough, one sitting. It's a lovely story. It's a lovely little narrative without any real dialogue, without any real voice acting. It says here on the Wikipedia page, all of the in-game dialogue is spoken in a fictional language based on Lebanese Arabic. Thus the story is conveyed through actions, gestures and expressions. Yeah. And the game is often mentioned as an example of artistry in video games due to its heavy narrative. It received positive reviews from critics and has sold over 800,000 units by January 2015, and it initially was released in 2013, so it's like 2 years, just under 2 years after its launch. 800 units for a game like this, which at the time was very, very tiny indeed. It's very impressive, and it's one of those games which is very thought-provoking and sad, etc. From the off. But the gameplay is nice, the puzzles are pretty easy. It's just a lovely experience. There's just some mechanics that make you smile. You enjoy them. They're not too taxing. The game really isn't all that difficult. But why this game got a remake, I'm not sure. And I remember Digital Foundry actually talking about this game and saying that it struggled in places, which doesn't make sense, because the remake, let's see if I can see it on, oh here we go, a remake was announced at the Game Awards, that's where I obviously saw it, December 2023, and it was released February 2024, so within 2 months it was announced, showcased and then released. And Digital Foundry saying, oh, the performance, the frame rate, it's shit in the bed, and it's like, what? How? It's not an intensive game graphically. There's not loads of action going on. It's bewildering. But it's the kind of game where I don't think you're actually going to notice poorer performance because of that, because so little's going on. And incredibly, I actually played this on quality mode. You know, on console you've got quality, performance. Always go performance, usually 9 times out of 10. I went quality with Brothers Tale of Two Sons because I thought, well, there's not going to be much. I think I remember Digital Foundry saying the performance mode didn't give you much better performance, and yeah, I would recommend go quality mode with this one. It looks nicer, and the more I played the game, the more I appreciated this slightly more realistic art style and the look of the brothers. It's a bit too cartoony with the original. It's a legendary game. It's a classic game. I do like my, you know, platformers. It's a platformer, isn't it? Yeah, single player. Oh, sorry, adventure game. It says aspects of this are a platformer, I guess, but there's a few other games. I'm not going to talk about them in this video because they might be coming up in the next couple of pickups videos. One I totally forgot existed. You know, like 10 years go by sometimes. Like, oh, remember that game? I never played that. I forgot it existed. It's happened a few times for me recently. I'm going to actually be playing a game like that in the next couple of days. It will be on the next pickups video. It begins with U. It was released in 2015 and it was published and I think even made by EA. Ugh, hate buying EA games, but sometimes if it's supposed to be a good game, I will do so. In fact, I've got 2 EA games coming up in my next pickups video. Oh, fucking hell. Keeping them going, the poor company that they are. But yeah, Brothers Tale of Two Sons didn't need a remake. Play on quality mode. It's a lovely little game. And if you've never played it, I think you should experience it if you like games similar. But now, ladies and gentlemen, the last game that we're talking about is one that I have not yet played, but I had to purchase it because I was hyped after playing the remaster. And ladies and gentlemen, the remaster in the second, I can't fucking believe it. It's not actually been announced officially yet, but we do believe it's being remastered because the main guy behind the series has showcased some blueprints from his studio showing art style of the second game. He did like a Christmas video wishing everyone Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and then it shows Mr. George Stobart in his ridiculous US tourist outfit from Broken Sword 2. So we do believe Broken Sword 2 is getting a remaster, and I totally can't remember now if I'd already played Broken Sword Reforged by the time of my last pickups video. I think I did speak about it in that video. Well, it was a whale of a time. I absolutely adored the first 3 Broken Sword games. Even the third one, which was 3D, played that on the PS2, loved it. I'm not a big puzzle guy, but the old Monkey Island and Broken Sword games are absolutely amazing. And Broken Sword 2 is my very favourite. And like I said, hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be announced officially before the end of the year. There's probably a lot of painstaking little details they need to do, I guess, to release that, just because of the art style. A lot of different like details in the background, and I don't know. It's like why the old Resident Evil games haven't been remastered yet by Capcom and done as part of a collection. There's a lot of little details, kind of like Final Fantasy back in the day, games like that. They were graphically more impressive than other games of its time. And yeah, it's just a beautiful art style. And I do realise we're talking about Broken Sword 5 here, show the VT. I bought it for £2. I've still not started it. I haven't played Broken Sword 4. As far as I'm aware, you don't need to play Broken Sword 4. Apparently Broken Sword 4, which I do believe came out 2007, 2008, I want to say, only came out on PC, I do believe, even though the third game came out on console and was absolutely playable, and then it never came out on the consoles at the time, which probably would have been around about the start of the 360 PS3 era, end of the PS2 original Xbox era, so it's quite strange how it never went onto consoles. But Broken Sword 5 was released a long time ago now. Let's have a look here. Initially 2013, late 2013, and it was episodic. I didn't know this, but it was episodic. And it says here the majority of the funding for the game was raised through Kickstarter. More than $770,000 of the requested $400,000 were raised, and together with PayPal donations, over $823,000. So they got over double of what they requested. Now, I've seen the reviews for Broken Sword 5. They're better than 4, maybe better than 3, but maybe not as good as 1 and 2. I've seen a lot of screenshots of this game, and there seems to be a lot of fan service and pandering to the fans. And what I mean by that is there's certain characters in Broken Sword 5, even though I've not played it yet, that were in the first Broken Sword. Now, I don't know how much time has amassed and passed since the first game to the fifth game. But Sergeant Moo from the first game, he's like 60 odd. He's an old police officer. He's in the fifth game, and it just seems a little bit daft to me. And there's a lot of set pieces which I can tell are exactly the same, and a lot of the areas are the same, and most of the game is in Paris still. What I loved about Broken Sword 1 and 2 was the globe trotting. Oh, I'm in Africa now. Now I'm in South America. Now I'm in Scotland. And based on the puzzles, and it just set my imagination off. I bloody loved it. The second game is my favourite. There's a bit of fan service in that game and returning characters. And it's also harder than the first game. You can play with baby bitch mode, as I call it, with Reforged, where basically the game tells you all the puzzles. But I've been keeping up to date with that Blueprints game. It's like a random roguelike puzzle game. That sounds like my idea of hell. What I like about the old Broken Sword games is you can brute force puzzles. Oh, do I combine the water bottle and the pen? Oh yes, I do. And then you stick it in the wall and it blows up, and it makes no sense. And what the fuck's going on? It's got that childlike charm to it within regards to the puzzles, and hey, go on. It's just a beautiful game, and maybe one day we'll get remasters of 3 and 4 as well. And apparently there is going to be a new one. Is it Percival Stone? I want to say it's called. Yeah, Percival Stone. That might be next year. Might slow down the second game. Still not been confirmed, but hopefully it'll happen. This game, by the way, Broken Sword 5, is called the Serpent's Curse. Not started it yet because I get the feeling that it's going to be a game that's really going to take quite a while to complete. I don't want to cheat. Oh, I'm rhyming again. Of course I'm rhyming again. The best white rapper since M, y'all. That's what I'm saying. But, what was I talking about before I started spouting bullshit? I can't remember. Yeah, Broken Sword, man. Such a special game for me. And I'm looking forward to the 5th game, but I'd be surprised if it's as good as 1 and 2. The art style, not quite as lovely as 1 and 2. I can't really explain why. There's no pictures of it on Wikipedia here, but it's timeless. And I do like what they did. And you can change the graphics on the fly with Reforged, by the way. Hopefully it will be like that, I'm sure, with the second game. It's called Smoking Mirror. I did a one-off video actually on my YouTube for it last October as a classics, and now it's getting remade. Bloody delighted. So I'll probably get round to Broken Sword 5 sometime later in the year, but I've got quite a few games to play yet. It might even be like autumn time before I get there, and I want to complete it without cheating. Stay calm. Just try everything in your inventory, combine it with every item, and exhaust all options. Good memories for me. I played that one with my brother back in the day when I was only like 7 or 8, the first 2 games, and they're all they're all very playable on console as well, even though they're point-and-click PC games. So, ladies and gentlemen, 30 minutes, 38 minutes, I should say. Let's keep this under 40. Gaming pickups, they're the last 5 that I've made, and since then I have made 3 gaming pickups since the ones I've just mentioned. 2 more, and we can do another pickups video. Today is Friday the 9th of May 2025. I'll be uploading this on the 10th. I'm thinking of taking the date off the videos, to be honest with you, because obviously in certain parts of the world, if I put the 10th of the 5th 2025, they'll think it's October, because putting the month first makes sense. But yeah, there'll be a pickups video probably in July next month. Jeff Keighley and all the press conferences gaming wise. Let's hope there's some good shit shown. And later this month, a Steely Dan worst to best. If you don't know the Dan, what are you even doing, ladies and gentlemen? Might even do a Paradise Lost worst to best. 14 albums though. I'll be there all fucking day with me. A bit too ambitious, but yeah, Steely Dan changed my life in the last 3 or 4 years, and I'm doing a worst to best. I'm going to be listening to the whole discography, and I'm going to love every bloody second of it. But after that, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. Blind Let's Play coming soon. Streets of Rage remake, ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! Oh yes, indeed. It's not an official game, but it's not going to stop me downloading and playing it. Looking forward to it. It's supposed to be really good. That's going to be coming in mid to late June. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.